Good morning and welcome back to DR Sports for another game day preview with myself, AGT, and Big Rob. Oh, it's not Robbie.
Yeah. You see with Robbie, yeah? He does Transfer Daily every morning. Gets up at 6 a.m, does all his research, bangs the shows. Now it's done.
Oh, he can't be asked to turn up now. Do you know what though? Better if anything.
My G. How are you? Good?
Big Cess in the building. Thank you very much.
No, it's all good. Good morning, everyone. Obviously, it was listen, it's close to the afternoon, but you know, we did a late shift last night, yourself as well included. Yeah. Transfer deadline day. For us, Arsenal was a sad end, really, if I'm honest, to the transfer. Good transfer window in general, but a sad end to it. And yeah, it went all the way to the wire. We didn't get Douglas Luiz in the end, but we're back here in the morning to do the preview and discuss all the games over this weekend, which I'm actually looking forward to it because the biggest game.
It's the Merseyside derby, which I agree with totally. So we'll talk about that soon. Substitution: Don Robbie off, Eder Militao on.
Come on.
And you're right, bro. We were working right through up until the deadline.
Yeah.
We were here like 10 hours ago and we're back. But certain people can't be bothered to turn up when the transfer window shuts.
You already know what it is, bro, but we're here.
It's what it is, man.
For the content. Anyway, yeah, and quickly, just the biggest game is not the Merseyside derby. It's obviously Man United versus Arsenal. Let's just get that in.
Okay, well, listen, we'll ask the people in the comments. We might do a poll on what is the biggest game of the weekend.
I think we should do that,
but this is the game day preview. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to Don Robbie. Don Robbie, it's not that anymore. It's DR Sports. That's when you know you've been around for a while, when you're still calling the channel Don Robbie Sports, but it's DR Sports, as I should say. And of course, remember to vote for us in the Football Content Awards. We've left the link for you right here in the chat. There's a link there to the Football Content Awards. We're going for the best new content creator and the best in social. And I think we've got a decent chance.
I think you do as well. I think this channel's growing very well. I think you've been a big part of that as well, AGT.
Thank you,
big up to you, man. Honestly, I think you're superb on this show and the other shows you get involved in. The SJ, it's not SJ, is this?
That's a different award show. Sorry, the Football Content Awards.
The FCAs. Let me not annoy them. Yeah, go and vote for DR Sports, man. Go. It's a great day out. So nice to see all the other content creators as well when you go there. So it's a really good one. And I was lucky enough to be there for the first time last year with the team for AFTV. But it's now nice to see DR Sports is getting the recognition it deserves. So go and vote, people.
Bro. Let's get there and win some stuff. Right, let's get into the game day preview. I'm going to go chronologically, I think.
Okay.
If you don't know what that means, it means in time order.
I was about to say, that's a big word for you. I like that.
Yeah,
maybe not for you. You're quite articulate, but yeah,
you,
chronological order. Let's do that.
Yeah, I went to school.
Right.
The first game happens to be Everton versus Liverpool, the Goodison Park venue, obviously, and it's the Merseyside derby. Now, a lot of people in the comments saying already it's the friendly derby and all this stuff. Let me tell you, right, as someone who lives in Liverpool, you have to believe me now, and you do have to as well. It is not a friendly derby, bro. These men are bitter,
bro,
and they want to, like, for instance, right? We did the fan cams outside Anfield on Wednesday night. The lad who's the doorman outside the pub that we film at, he's an Everton fan, and I said, "Oh, you're looking forward to the game on Sunday?" And he said, "Not really, but hopefully we injure one of your players." So there's no friendly about it. You know, these guys don't have much to shout about, so they feel like they've got to injure players.
When's the last time Everton beat you guys, though?
Well, listen, it's one win in 23. The last time they beat us was at Anfield, actually.
Friendly derby.
Last year when there was no fans inside the ground. So one win in 23. A lot of changes, though, for Everton and Liverpool. Everton forward Neil Maupay is set to make his debut after being ineligible for the draw at Leeds. New signing Idrissa Gana Gueye may also feature. He's obviously come back to Everton after a period at PSG. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Decore, Ben Godfrey, Mason Holgate, Yerry Mina, all out. All out. And these are guys that, especially Mina and Holgate and Calvert-Lewin, they would want them to play in the derby. You need as many of kind of hard hitters as you can in the derby. But for Liverpool, we're bringing back Darwin Núñez. He comes back after his 3-game suspension. Diogo Jota has also been in training, and Henderson will be sidelined, which is a massive miss, if I'm honest. The captain should always play in the derby. And it looks like a hamstring injury has forced Liverpool to go out and buy Arthur Melo, which we saw last night.
Is he eligible?
Yes, he will be eligible. He's number 29, squad number 29 he's been given. I was just telling you before, some of the players that have had that prestigious number in the past. Andy Carroll, but only in the Europa League for us, and Fabio Borini. I'm trying to think of more, but it escaped me.
So quickly, Arthur Melo then, what, he goes straight in for you? Do you believe this? Do you think he starts?
Now that is a big shout that I maybe don't even have the answer for yet. I mean, to have
Seemingly, I
never
think it
played in England before, to then go straight in the early kick-off at the Goodison, bro,
Merseyside
I don't
derby.
know about that.
That is, to be fair, that is a big ask, isn't it?
I don't know. I think the midfield personally will be Fabinho, Milner and Harvey Elliott. And then you can bring on a Fabio Carvalho, an Artemelo, a Darwin Nunez. The bench is looking a bit better now with these guys coming back. Jota could be on the bench as well. He scored 2 at Goodison last year. So listen, Bobby Firmino, our striker, our number 9, is in a good bit of form. If he scores on Saturday, it will be the first time he scored in 3 successive games since December 2017. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
We had Martinelli doing that stat not too long ago as well, just saying.
No, for sure. Another Brazilian learning off the best.
You're so cheeky with that. Like it was quick.
But get on this, right? 22 red cards we've seen in the Merseyside derby. It's the most in any game in the Premier League. So this friendly derby chat, I'm not sure about it.
Well, listen, I was going to throw a question to you and say, what is now? Most people say the most entertaining derby is the North London derby, and I agree with that. That's the majority, bro.
Tottenham and Arsenal fans.
It's the most. No, the most football fans will agree. I was going to ask, what is for you then the most entertaining derby? What do you think? You get everything out of. I didn't know that stat though, by the way, about the red cards.
If we're talking about everything, and that everything involves goals, mistakes, red cards,
rivalry,
then it's the Merseyside derby.
Oh, come on, AGT.
22 red cards.
I hear that.
You want entertainment? Are you not entertained? 22.
I think Arsenal United, that's not even a real derby. I think that was more insane. That's more legs than the Merseyside currently. Jeez Louise. But all right, okay, you're going with the Merseyside. Obviously, I'm going to say North London derby, and there's obviously some other ones that I don't consider derbies, like they sort of Crystal Palace and Brighton. I mean, that's supposed to be a derby, but
that can get a bit tasty though.
Can be every now and then.
On the south coast.
Man United, Man City, could consider that a derby nowadays.
Again,
I mean, it is a Manchester derby.
In Manchester, that is not a game that's taken lightly. They proper hate each other, bro.
Like Manchester enough.
And since United have been so bad and City have been so good, it's even more tough for United fans to watch those kind of games. Even though United have got a result against City in the last few derbies, so we'll ask Robbie when he gets here, because we are hearing that he might make an appearance. But I mean, I can almost guess what his answer is going to be. This one is a 12:30 kickoff. Have you got any predictions for this?
I wasn't preface. All right, quickly. Liverpool to win. Everton.
Take that.
Everton haven't been great at all this season. I'm gonna go Liverpool to win 3-1. I'll go 3-1.
I would snap your hand off now for that, bro.
Why are you?
For a 3-1 away win in the derby? I'd snap your arm off.
Is it one of these derbies where you say, listen, it's a derby, any score? Because realistically, on paper, come on, Liverpool should really just run away with this. So, or is it one of those? It's a derby,
it's
so
one
you
of
never know
those
what can
games,
happen,
bro. And again, we were rattling through the famous football quotes last night, and I hate this one, but I'm going to say it.
Go on.
The first goal will be very important because if we score, and this is the problem with Liverpool recently, right? And it's a bad stat that I don't even want to read out, but the last 10 games, we've conceded the first goal in 9 of the last 10. The only time we didn't was Bournemouth the other day. And I feel like if Liverpool don't score in the first 30 minutes, let alone the first half, then it just becomes so difficult for us to break down that low block. So if Liverpool do score first, you can imagine the Everton fans might turn on the players, the manager a little bit. It's very tough to get them on your side there.
I can't believe
I'm going for a Liverpool win, but only if we score early.
And what scored you? I'm so confused at how unconfident you are for this game.
It's not that I'm unconfident, bro. It's just
it's unlike you.
Apart from last season, we actually don't have the best record there. I think our last win, apart from last year, was 2016 when Sadio Mane scored the last-minute winner. So it's notoriously tight. It's notoriously tense. I mean, this isn't really a fixture where we see a bundle of goals.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's really tight normally. So we'll have to see, but I am going to go for a Liverpool win. Of course, I've got to back my team in the derby. Big up to Tendi Item, who's a massive DR member in the chat.
Big up.
Who says Everton 2, Liverpool 1. But if Liverpool get an extra 5 minutes, then I'll say Liverpool 3-2. Cheeky. He's a Newcastle fan. Very cheeky indeed, actually, mate. AGT is as delusional as Ty, says Linus. So, I think we're going to have a substitution here.
There we go.
I think
Transfer
Cecil,
deadline is done.
He's going to hear me.
It's been
It's been nice working with you again.
You haven't given a score, by the way. You said you think Liverpool...
2-1 to Liverpool. Unfortunately, the paperwork didn't get signed in time for Cecil to make his full debut, so he's only made a cameo. And we've got the big man. It's Mr. Don Robbie himself. Don't leave me hanging.
Can I have your phone?
How are you?
Yeah. The traffic out there, man.
Oh,
You know when you get stuck right behind these temporary lights.
yeah. Road rage from Don Robbie.
Yeah,
Someone
but
clip
I'm
that
in
up.
now, man. I'm in now, right?
That would be a meme, by the way, what you just did.
That'd be a meme. Oh my God, I've done it again.
Quick question for you, though, Rob. Me and Cess were just debating, right? There's some big games in the Premier League this weekend. 8 games on Saturday alone. So the Saturday football show is going to be an absolute
It'll be lit.
belter. But Everton v Liverpool, Arsenal versus Manchester United, which is the bigger game out of those two? It's
Arsenal versus Man
okay.
United.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that.
Because
say that.
Do you know what? The Merseyside derby's big, but when was the last time they beat you?
One win in 23, and the last time they beat us was... Remember that Speedo Mick game when me and
Yes,
you did it?
yes, yeah.
And he got his ass out in
Yeah.
my face. Yeah. It was there.
But yeah, I mean,
February
so
2021, that was.
it's a big game, but I think it's almost like it's a bigger game in Liverpool than it is for...
People keep saying it's a friendly derby, Rob. It's not, man.
It is a
Trust
friendly
me.
derby,
It's
you know
22
what I
red
mean?
cards, the most in Premier
You look in the
history.
crowd, you know what I mean? There's Everton
Rob,
fans
I've got to
sat
stop you,
with
mate. I've
Liverpool
got to stop
fans.
you. It's
and
not
there's-
like
you
that
know what I
anymore.
mean?
They hate us.
Nah, they don't.
Trust
mate.
me.
They don't.
I live in
I've said-
Liverpool. They hate
The
us.
amount
They
of times
hate
I've
me.
been, the amount of times I've been to Liverpool, and you know what I mean. There's so many mixed families, you know what I mean. One's a blue, one's a red.
I
One's
can't.
I mean,
I can't have that. I can't
it's
have
not.
that.
It's not like the North London derby where it is hate.
No, but
It's not like the North London derby, like, you know what I mean, if you've got to be very careful. If you're an Arsenal fan, for instance, you're going to Tottenham, you've got to be careful, right?
Yeah.
Because you could die. You know what I mean?
Okay, so...
The same vice versa, going back round the other way. It's not like Man United versus Liverpool, where, you know what I mean, you can't just rock up there in your colours,
Robbie, I'm
could you?
telling
You know
you,
what I mean?
Do you think I would be safe if I walked down Everton around Goodison Park in Liverpool shirt? No. Trust me, Rob.
You get a bit of stick, but it's not the same.
No, Robbie. You
It's
don't live
not,
there. I'm
it's
telling
not.
you, Rob.
No,
You're
it's
gonna have
not.
to believe me, man.
Listen, all right, so walking up to the North London derby in an Arsenal top,
You're
you're taking your life in your hands.
Yeah, you're looking for trouble.
Walking up to Goodison Park
Rob,
in a
you're wrong,
Liverpool
mate.
shirt,
You're so wrong.
you get a lot of stick.
You're wrong, man.
Somebody might say to you, what are you doing down here? Go that way.
You're
It's,
lost.
it's a more friendlier derby.
Do you know what? It maybe used to be, but now that it's tense again, it isn't, man.
And
Trust me.
especially,
They
I think,
hate- they
and
hate
I
us.
think it's loaded
They really
more on the
hate us.
Everton side. The Everton fans
because they're
hate the
bitter.
Liverpool fans more. For you guys, your bigger game,
They're irrelevant to
your
us.
bigger derby is against United, isn't it? That's the
That's-
one.
I'd
that's the
say-
one where the real rage and hatred's built up in you. Everton fans probably the rage and hate is built up in them for the Liverpool game, but it's not reciprocated the other way. Whereas when it comes to the North London derby, that hate is the
Because
same
you're closer
on both
your
ends.
levels above Everton, with all due respect. So I
No,
understand
but I just
that
don't know. I
point.
think it's just, I think it's the makeup of Liverpool, the city, in which you know, I kind of like it, right? The fact that like if say there's a situation that happens, I think we've seen it this weekend with the murder of that
rest in
9-year-old
peace,
girl.
man. Unbelievable. That
You
was.
know that when it
The
comes,
city comes together.
the city comes together in, you know what I mean, when the whole thing happened with the 96
97
Liverpool
now.
fans, 97 now, right, with the Liverpool fans, the Everton fans get behind that. The Everton fans don't buy the Sun. You know what I mean? They're all together as one city.
That is a good
I don't
point.
think that would be the same if it was North London, right? I think we get, yes, we'd be, if the tragedy that happened with that young girl, I know all the fans would get behind that. But I don't think Tottenham fans would be fighting Arsenal fans' cause and vice versa. I just don't think it would happen. So I think it's a different...
It's a big debate, Rob.
It's because of the city of Liverpool. I really do think it's a unique city. You guys pull together. I like the Liverpool. I like how they do stuff.
Scousers
I
do pull together.
I like
but
our
trust
Scousers.
me, Rob,
I love
on Derby
Scousers,
Day.
how they do that.
Yeah,
I love
you like
Scousers.
Scousers, innit?
I love how Scousers pull together like that. I love
Yeah.
that.
They've
But
got a very strong
unfortunately,
identity as a city.
Down here in London, in North London, no one's pulling together. If it's anything to do with Tottenham, nobody wants to know. They're like, no, I'm not having it. So it's a more friendlier derby.
Listen, MP says agree with the Don. Liverpool Anfield Legendary says Everton is a joke. In the city, it's a stupid derby. AGT, tell Don about Arta. His thoughts. Obviously, you were linked with him. Liverpool.
I was a
the
bit.
new number 29 for Liverpool.
Yeah,
Rob.
I have to say I was a bit shocked by that because we were linked with Arta Mello last year in January, and actually we were gonna get him. And I think where it fell down is that we only wanted him on a loan till the end of the transfer window, so it was effectively like 4 or 5 months. And Juventus wanted us to take him for 2 years, and we said no, we don't want him for that long.
It's a big loan deal, that.
And I don't know, when I was doing a lot of finding out a lot of information on him, obviously because we were so heavily linked with him. And when I was like checking it out, I was like, I'm not too sure if this guy's going to fit. You know what I mean? It's like, he doesn't seem like he's built for the Premier League. His style of football, he's not. You know, he's a very technical player, very good technical player. So I think that would be great for Liverpool. But he's not the strongest. He's not the quickest. He's not a pressing player. So I'm a bit surprised that Liverpool have gone for him. But listen, who knows? Remember, I think also what you've got to factor in is the fact that when he first came from Brazil to Europe, he was seen as one of the next big things.
Yeah, I remember.
And he went to Barcelona, didn't work out for him. He's gone to Juventus. It's been even worse.
Well, people saying he was really good at Barca and not so much at Juve.
Yeah, he's getting a third chance now. I mean, this is his third big club.
Final chance for a big club. Yeah,
3 big clubs, man. I mean, if he doesn't produce, I can see him ending up back in Brazil.
Yeah. Or if Willian, you go Brazil, you might get a route back.
Also the fact that the whole summer Juventus have been trying to offload him and nobody wanted him.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm surprised that Liverpool have got him. But listen, I'll be interested to see how he gets on.
Do you know what? Some funny comments here when you mentioned that you were in traffic. The Don didn't helicopter in.
I wish.
When are we getting the helipad put in?
I'd love that, man. That would be great, wouldn't it?
That would be sick. The Don shouldn't be stopping at red lights, says Shao Pereira.
You know what I mean? Like Jamaica style, where you just drive through them at night time. You know, you're driving in Jamaica at night, in Kingston.
Don't care about the lights.
No, it's not a good idea to stop at the lights. You know
right.
You just
want
keep
to
driving.
keep going,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Someone also said Robbie shouldn't be stopping in the Ferrari or something like that. But yeah, listen, he's here now.
Yeah.
Quick prediction for that one?
The Merseyside derby. Come on, man. Yeah, Everton. I mean, listen, fair play to Everton. The last couple of games.
They've only won 2 in 6 there, Liverpool.
Yeah, they've dug in, haven't they, in the last few games? I think they made a couple of signings. I think it's really, really significant that they've held on to Anthony Gordon.
Yeah.
And I don't think Liverpool are playing their stellar best at the moment. So I think there's a chance for Everton. I'm going to go for a draw,
here we go.
I'm going to go for a draw. I don't know, funny, I think they're going to be really up for this game. They've got a couple of signings in. They're a bit more upbeat, the Evertonians, because of the transfer window. Ain't been too bad. I know they wanted a striker in, they bought Mopé in, but I'm going to go for a draw. A 1-1 draw.
Don't forget, Nunez and Jota both back for Liverpool. Jota scored, So Jota scored 2 in this game last year, and obviously Nunez looks bang up for it after
I'm
his
still gonna go. And by the way, I've liked Cavalier, man. He's come in and he's done brilliantly. And I remember watching him when he's at Fulham last season. I'm thinking, yeah, he's a player.
He won the Young Player of the Year.
Yeah, very good player. Goodison Potter's gonna be rocking, man.
Is there any chance Nunez gets another red card?
Well,
in the derby, if they wind him up,
they're going to wind him up something rotten. Connor Cody's going to be up on him, man. 1-1.
1-1. I'm going 3-1 Liverpool. A big away win. It was 2-1 a minute ago, but now I think it's
1-1.
Right, 7. A massive 7. No, 6. 3 o'clock kickoffs. This is why you have to watch the Saturday football show. It's going to be great. Brentford versus Leeds, 3 o'clock at the Brentford Community Stadium. Both teams have started decently to the season, man.
They have. Brentford in particular, I think have been playing some good stuff. Very difficult place to go to. They're really disappointed that they didn't win their last game, Brentford. Leeds as well, off of the back of that, they look really good against Chelsea.
Yeah.
But that was at home. I think playing it at Brentford, I'm going to go for Brentford winning that game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Home team win. I mean,
Yeah.
Leeds, I think, will be without Rodrigo, who I think is the second highest scorer.
His arm or shoulder he did the other night.
I think it was a dislocated shoulder, which looked pretty nasty. And they take a...
Yeah,
they're not something that you can just
been,
come back from.
He's been playing really, really well. So I think I'm going to go for Brentford.
I'm going to go for a draw here. I reckon it's a Desmond. This was a game last year, remember, that Rafinha scored a last-minute penalty at Brentford to keep Leeds up last year.
Yeah,
so this game's got a bit of history.
Yeah, but I just think Brentford, the way they're playing this season, I fancy them at home. They're a good side, man.
They are,
well drilled, good manager. Brentford for me.
Brentford, Leeds fans in the comments, let us know what you think the score is going to be there at 3 o'clock on Saturday. Another big one, another London derby, really. Chelsea-West Ham. We did put a poll up in the chat there to ask you what is the biggest game this weekend. The results are still flying in. 1,500 of you have voted already. Amazing. Everton, Liverpool, only 7% of the vote. Man U, Arsenal, 87% of the vote. 4% Chelsea, West Ham. And Tottenham versus Fulham, 2%. Yeah. Another London derby. Yeah.
Chelsea West Ham's a big London derby. I can tell you that, man. That's a fiery game.
They really hate each other.
They hate each other.
Proper.
Sort of goes back to the days of football hooliganism.
Yes.
Who had the baddies firm, Chelsea or West Ham? You know
ICF, isn't it?
ICF, yeah, right.
So,
that's a real hot rivalry. But do you know what? Chelsea's weird, right? Because they got beaten by Southampton. They've beaten by Leeds, but when they played against Tottenham, I thought they were superb. I mean, very unfortunate to lose that game.
Yeah.
But Chelsea, I don't know what it is, man. They've made so many signings. I don't know. Paqueta could play for West Ham. They're big signing.
Could play for Chelsea.
I don't know if it would have Aubameyang because remember this thing.
Can you play over broken jaw?
I think that's a bit risky to play with that. I don't know if he's had surgery on it yet or whatever. I mean, they were saying that he could be out for a few weeks. I don't know. He looked fine when they showed him yesterday.
Yeah, he was
but
arriving in London yesterday, he looked fine.
If Aubameyang does play, I'm going to go for Chelsea. I think Chelsea at home, they need this as well. Chelsea, they've got off to a very indifferent start to the season. I think they need to win this game. I think West Ham. They haven't started well yet.
They need to win this game.
They haven't gelled well. Well, they won last week, but they just were a bit lucky to get that win. I think I'm going to go with Chelsea winning this.
Fair play. I mean, West Ham fans, Nicky won't be happy with that, obviously, and Dan and Jason and the lads there.
I'd rather West Ham win it. And West Ham, they put together a very good team, but it does take a time for that team to gel. And I just think that, Chelsea at home, Raheem Sterling, 2 goals last week. You've got to favour Chelsea. I'm
going to go just with Chelsea at home. I'm going to go with 2-1.
Yeah.
I think if it was at West Ham, I maybe would have gone a draw. But Chelsea just so unpredictable at the minute. They really are. I mean, there's rumours that Tuchel, if Roman was still around, probably wouldn't be in the job. Talking about maybe having a transfer.
I mean, they've spent
extension.
Nearly £300 million.
£242 million. A quarter of $1 billion, Rob.
Madness.
Quarter of $1 billion.
It's crazy. I mean, Premier League teams have spent £2 billion in this transfer window. It's been insane, the spending. And Chelsea, they've been the biggest spenders, really. And I don't know, some of the players they bought, I'm like, did you need that player? I mean, I think it's the new owner trying to make a real statement. Yeah. But, I think Chelsea will have just too much for West Ham.
Yeah.
It'll be a great game, that, though.
Let us know in the comments what you think the score is going to be there. Czar Spurs TV going for a 3-1 West Ham win. Very interesting there, away from home. Chelsea have no creativity when James doesn't play, says McNally.
They're missing Kante as well.
Missing Kante, big miss for them.
Well, they brought in Zakaria now in midfield. They brought in so many players, I don't know where they're going to play.
According to Fabrizio, apparently Obo is out for a month, according to Pran Lele with the super chat there. Thank you for that.
If you've broken your jaw, you can't, you can walk down the road and go and do a medical, but if you're playing on a pitch, man,
and
someone puts one on you.
Yeah. And you know that if he has got a broken jaw, does that make him a bit of a target to maybe...
No, of course it does.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
Chelsea have no attack, says Amun Kumar.
Well, they got Raheem Sterling up there, and he scored 2 last week, and he is a goal-scoring player. And it's time for Havertz and Mount and these guys to start stepping up. They've had a really poor start to the season, those guys. So if they can come with the goals,
Well, there you go. Massive game that. 3 o'clock kickoff. Something very old school about Chelsea, West Ham, 3 o'clock. Takes me back to the 80s. Not that I was around in the 80s, but... Right, next up, Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. I'm actually really looking forward to this game.
That's a good game.
I am, because Palace on form, Zaha on fire. Probably his best. Would you say that this is his best spell in his career?
You know what? He's a great player, man.
Surprised that was last week, by the way.
Nobody's winning for him in the transfer window. I saw the sort of stat that being mentioned the other day that he's never played in Europe.
Never.
Would you believe that? Zaha, as good as he is.
Now.
But I think Newcastle, though, they also impressed me against Liverpool. I think on another day they could have won the Isaac goal offside. He looked sharp.
Very sharp.
He
Rob,
looked
man.
very,
I had a
very
good view of that offside goal.
Yeah.
Robbo slid in to get him, and he's just done him with the tricks. Come back inside, and it's a good finish.
And a great finish. I mean, one of the things he's been criticised for is a lack of goals. Him getting off to an immediate scoring
Anfield
start.
as well.
Yeah, so and I've been very impressed with Newcastle. From the time we went up there at the end of last season, we played them. I was like, this is a good team, and they've been without a couple of key players like Guimaraes and things like that. They're a good side, man. Even last week, I was watching a game against Wolves.
Yeah.
St. Maximan with another
What
banger.
a
That's
strike.
another underrated player. Newcastle at home. I mean, Palace will give them a good game because Palace are one of these teams that can throw a spanner in the works
Home or
of
away.
attacking teams. Yeah, because they come, they set up, they're organised, and they are brilliant on the counter-attack with, Zaha, Eze, Elise. So they'll give problems, but I think Newcastle, for me, they get over the line with this one. They're a good... Newcastle, for me, could make the top 6 this season.
Do you know what? I said that actually on Matty Renner's channel the other day.
They're good.
He wasn't happy with me after that added time goal on Wednesday.
Are you ever going to say Fergie time again after that?
Cloppage time, innit?
Clock time.
Cloppage. Yeah. No, he sent me a few strongly voiced voice notes, which I definitely can't play on this show.
When teams waste time, though, I mean,
they deserve it.
You know the thing is about in football, I keep saying this, I do not understand. Again, this is another one of the snobbish things in football where they never want to change rules.
Yeah, I agree.
And catch up. Why not just have a clock up
Me and
in
Jason
the
were
stadium
talking about that.
that just stops every time someone wastes time? The clock stops, so everybody knows exactly how long.
There's no
it's
arguments.
left.
There's no moaning.
Yeah, there's no, and then everybody knows.
We've seen a stat here,
even
right?
even
Rob?
if that clock stopped for the people that are watching it on TV, so that everyone can see. Because it does start opening it up to say to yourself, as the referee just been under pressure from being at Anfield that he's added on extra time, what did these... That just deals with that issue.
It was reported that the ball was out of play in the second half of Liverpool-Newcastle for over 18 minutes. 18 minutes.
Yeah. They should just have a...
And that included 2.5 minutes in injury time alone when Pope went down with the fake injury. So you can't complain when there's been that much time added on.
Yeah, but then they don't always add it on. I mean, but that's why I'm saying I would like to see...
Totally agree with you.
They do it in basketball, they do it in American football, they do it in all the other sports apart from football.
Do you know what? Maybe we can do a poll. Should that be brought into the Premier League? A stopwatch almost.
Just
when
on
the ball
screen,
goes
so
out,
we know.
know.
So even if you're a player, if somebody wastes time and they lie down for 2 minutes, you know he's going to 2 minutes is added on.
And Rob...
Because there's a lot of times as well in games where people have wasted time and then as soon as the 5 minutes come, the referee plays like a 10 seconds over and blows up. You know?
But the fans were throwing balls on the pitch. The Newcastle fans were throwing balls on the pitch.
All right,
I showed you the video yesterday anyway.
Yeah, that fake video.
No, it wasn't a fake video. It was a real video.
But I'll go for a Newcastle win. Home win for me.
13 goals in 20 league games in 2022 for Zaha. His best return in a single calendar year in the top flight.
He's an outstanding player.
Him up against Trippier, I can imagine. That's going to be a good battle, actually. Experienced battle there. Let us know what you think the score is going to be at St James's Park against Crystal Palace.
It's a great game.
It is going to be a great game. Nottingham Forest versus Bournemouth. The team that has spent a lot of money versus the team that has spent very little money, Rob.
Nearly 20 players. Is it 21 players Nottingham Forest? I've never seen anything.
That's a record.
I've never seen anything like it in my life, right? And and to me it's ridiculous. How can you bring in so many players? That's going to take ages to gel.
Do you think that's the manager making these shouts, or is it the owner?
So I think the owner's trying to prove a point to the fans that, you know, I'm going to build a team, we're going to be here to stay. I think you've brought in too many players. I've never seen nothing like it. That's too many, right?
It is too many.
That's ridiculous.
It's a whole new squad.
Right, and I think you've got to keep the, you know, even though last week when they played, they still had a lot of the players that got them up playing, but I think that's ridiculous.
How do you think that would affect you mentally if you were one of the main players that brought them up from the Championship to the Premier League, and you look around you, and every week one of your mates who you played with in the Championships getting sold, they're bringing a new guy in. How do you think that affects the players mentally?
It could affect the morale of those guys who brought who got them to that position. It can do, but I think you do recognise that when you go up, you're going to have to spend and bring in that additional quality. But so many signings, I think that's automatically going to take a long time to gel. I think I thought it was very impressive last week against Tottenham. A little bit naive at the back, but I thought they were very impressive. I thought the atmosphere there was brilliant, and Bournemouth have been poor, but Bournemouth did get a draw during the week.
Forest lost 5-0
they're the opposite. They've hardly spent any money. They've brought in players that not really seem to be Premier League level. Forest, as I said, they played well last week against Tottenham, just didn't score. Although they got a tonking against Man City. So
5-0, yeah.
I think at home, I'm going to go for Forest.
It's a crazy game, right?
Solanke's back for Bournemouth.
That's true.
That's a big one, but I think I can't see past. I can't see past Forest winning that.
It's a crazy game, isn't it? Because both of these teams came up, and where do you find the balance? Because you do need to invest.
It's
you get 5 or 6.
Completely
What's the
imbalanced
balance
between the two.
Of course it is, but what is the sweet spot? How many do you need?
I think you bring in 5 or 6 quality Premier League proven players if you can. At least 3 Premier League proven players, and then you could bring in a couple of players from abroad. But what I've seen Nottingham Forest do, I've never seen that. It's unprecedented. How difficult it's going to be for the manager to get all those players gelling. Not all of them going to play. It's a weird decision. They're not like they're playing in Europe. It's weird.
If you're
it's
an
a weird
academy
decision
player as well.
Yeah, it's
How do you feel about that?
And why do it all at once? Because when January comes now, you're not giving yourself any scope for if certain things ain't working out to maybe try. I just think this is a weird transfer window for Nottingham Forest. Really strange. I hope it works for them, but it's a strange one.
Yeah, we've got some interesting comments about this one. Bournemouth will go down, says Joel Farmer. Robbie, Forest lost 20 players. That's why, says Ali A.
Yeah, but they should have held on to some of those players. It's just too much. It's too much to bring in. I know they had loan players last year. They had guys like Jed Spence and that they lost, but still, 20-odd players. It's ridiculous. It
is totally ridiculous. Forest will stay up, says the hottest Spur.
I'm not sure,
QPR did it before, got relegated.
Depends.
Fulham
with Nottingham Forest, right? My prediction at the start of the season actually was that I thought Forest, Bournemouth would go. I thought out of the 3 of them, Fulham would have the best chance of staying up. And at the moment, Fulham are looking good. So, Forest... It depends on their home form. I was impressed with them last week, even though they didn't get the result. If they can do the business at home, which they're strong, I think they could be strong at home. That could keep them up. The
City ground, when it gets rocking, it is a real.
Yeah, I've been there, man.
Rocking.
I've been there when that place is rocking, man, and I'm telling you, they get a great atmosphere there, and then they're very hard to beat.
Yeah.
So.
Do you know what? I went to uni in Nottingham, right? And I had to kind of choose between who was my Nottingham team, County or Forest. So I went to a Forest game. It was the worst game of football I've ever seen in my life. I think it was a 0-0 draw with Middlesbrough on a cold Tuesday night. And then I went to County, and Jack Grealish was playing for County at the time. Yeah. And I think they won 3-1. And I was like, cool, I'll pick County then. So there you go. But my girlfriend's from Nottingham. All of her family support Forest, so they'll be hoping that they stay up for sure. Right, another London derby, if you want to call it that. North London versus South West. Tottenham versus Fulham. The Battle of the Whites. This is a game that will raise a few eyebrows because Fulham have started well. And Tottenham, indifferent, really. They currently sit.
They're unbeaten.
Where are they in the table?
They're unbeaten, haven't they? They ain't lost a game yet. So
I think they might be fourth in the table at the minute, Tottenham.
Yeah, they haven't lost a game.
They'll be gutted with that draw against West Ham.
They drew West Ham. They've drawn with Chelsea, but the other games they've won. They've got this weird style at the moment. I was looking at Tottenham, and I think they're going to be a very difficult team to beat with the way they set up. So I think it's going to be tough to beat them. But can you get close to, challenging for the league when you play that style, which is basically Conte's style of playing, free at the back, counter-attacking, low block, counter-attack football, and relying on the quality of Harry Kane and Son and Kulusevski up front. It worked for them last week. I thought that if Forest had been better at finishing, that might have been a different story in that game. But it worked for them. But I'll tell you what, Fulham are a good side. I mean, we played them last week. They're good.
Drew with Liverpool in
the
first
game.
They're good.
They drew with Liverpool. They gave us a good game. Mitrovic up front is a handful. He really is a handful. I'll tell you what, this could spring a surprise, this game. I don't think a defeat for Tottenham, but I can see a draw.
And
they're decent. And I'll tell you what impressed me about Fulham. Defensively, they were very good. They were very good defensively. So, yeah, listen, it's a tough game for Fulham. They've got to keep a lid on Harry Kane. They've got to keep a lid. It's for Tottenham, it's that front three still. It's a great front three that they got there. You know what I mean? And if you're not on it, they will, and then they can bring Richarlison off the bench. But I can see a draw here,
Do you know what? Fulham just brought in Dan James. Can he be the man that gives even more supply and ammo to Mitrovic?
Supply and ammo, yeah. But if he's got no finishing, has he, Dan? He's got a load of pace on him. It's going to be interesting. You know why this game's going to be really interesting for me is to see what Tottenham do. Are they going to go at Fulham? Because then Fulham are very, they did that against us last week. They just kind of sat in and kept catching us on the counter-attack. Are Tottenham going to go for it? I mean, this is going to be. I think it'll be an interesting game. This
I
because
agree.
it's not going to be a game where I think Tottenham, their fans are going to expect them to be a bit more on the front foot, and you can get picked off by Fulham. And I said Mitrovic. I've always rated Mitrovic. I know there was that season when people said, "Oh, he was in the Premier League and he scored goals." He was under Scott Parker. Scott Parker didn't really rate him, didn't give him a chance. I remember when they went down to the Championship, I remember saying to some people, I think Arsenal should try and buy him as a plan B, right? And people, Mitrovic. I go, listen, the guy, I've seen when he plays, man, he's good. He's good in the air. He's a handful. He was a handful last week for us. He scored in the game. I'm going to be very interested to see how this game pans out. This is going to be a big test this for Tottenham because Fulham, as I said, they played us last week and they were good. So,
score prediction: 1-0 AFC says Fulham will win. I wonder who he supports. Fulham 3, Spurs 1 says lost for you to find. AGT looks like Mitrovic.
Mitrovic?
I'm not sure about that, Nikhil. I don't know, man. I've never heard that one before. I'm not too sure. I'm going to go with a very, very, very slim Tottenham win. 2-1 I'm going to go for, Rob.
I'm going with a draw. I mean, Fulham, they won again during the week, beat Brighton.
Massive
Brighton, a good little side at the moment, man. Beat Brighton at home. I think the only game they've lost to is the game against us.
Yeah.
They're decent, man.
Decent, man.
Gave
very
you
good.
guys I thought they should have
a shot.
beaten you guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a draw. I don't think they'll win the game. Difficult place to go to, Tottenham. They are playing well. But as I said, the style in which Tottenham are playing it at the moment, it'd be interesting to see what they do against Fulham. So, draw for me.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a slim Tottenham win. Just before we get into the rest of the games, guys, there is over 3,000 of you in the chat right now. Thank you so much for watching. If you are watching us, make sure that you like the video, but more importantly, make sure that you vote for DR Sports at the Football Content Awards 2022 for Best New Content Creator and Best in Social. Links in the chat. I think we've got a decent chance, Rob.
Oh, listen, man. The content that we create on this channel is absolutely amazing. The Saturday football show, the watch-alongs, the best of enemies. Come on.
Yes, and more new shows to come, by the way. More stuff coming that you don't even know about yet.
Yeah.
So make sure that you're subscribed to DR Sports if you haven't already.
Vote.
Make sure you vote, and hopefully we'll be there on the night, suited and booted. Looking forward to it, man. Robbie, you are my inspiration, says Lost for You to Find.
Oh, thank
Amazing.
you very much. That's nice.
The most important one is to become a DR Sports member so that we can get an AGT yawning emoji, says Tendi Item. Do you know what? This transfer window has done me in, mate. I'm happy it's over, to be fair.
Yesterday was a painful day for me, man. All day. This Douglas Luiz thing, why Villa kept up. Anyway, that's another matter.
That's another video.
We'll get to Villa.
Right, next up, Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Southampton. Two teams that are massively inconsistent. You could even call it the inconsistent derby.
No wins yet for Wolves.
Do you know what? I was looking at some of the players they brought in, and they are players that will improve the team, but there's just a lot of unrest at that club at the minute. Matty Cooper, who we speak to a lot, the Wolves fan, he's Mr. Pessimistic when it comes to Wolves right now. He always is, to be fair. He never bigs them up. But Wolves can perform. They can come out and perform.
Drew 0-0 with
which isn't good enough. It's not good enough.
They drew in Newcastle. They've got quality players. I mean, I wanted Neto at Arsenal. He's quality.
I wanted him at Liverpool.
He's quality. They've got quality
no
players.
win in the last 13, Rob.
Guedes and all these guys. I think it will click for them, but they lack a finisher. I mean, I saw the chance the other day that, what's his name? Jimenez missed.
Yeah.
They don't finish their dinner.
He's fallen out of form massively,
they don't finish. I know they brought in a striker now.
Guedes.
They bought a striker as well as Guedes. They brought a striker in during the week. They need to be putting away the chances that they create because they create a lot.
Mateus Nunes as well.
Southampton, they
never underestimate them.
Beat Chelsea. They brought in a few decent signings. I mean, I think they made it in the transfer window. I think I can see another draw in this game. They beat Chelsea, of course, during the week. Southampton, so their tails will be up. I'm going to go for another draw.
I'm going to go for a draw
again, Wolves is one of these teams, right, that away from home on a counter-attack, very good, dangerous team. At home, when the emphasis is on them to attack, sometimes fall a bit short. And Southampton will be that counter-attacking team, and it'll be hard to break down. I see a draw in this game as well.
I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. 1 win in 13 for Wolves in the Premier League. Not a good record at all. They'll be hoping to change that, especially at home as well. I mean, they need to pick up points at Molineux. They need to make that a fortress again. Big up to Joey AFC Largy with the super chat. Big up you guys. You do amazing work. I'm a big fan. Thank you very much.
Cheers, bro.
Right, now let's talk about the game of the weekend.
You're not going to talk about...
Oh, no, sorry. Aston Villa versus Man City, and then we'll talk about the game of the weekend after that.
That's definitely not the game of the weekend.
Aston Villa, Man City, a 5:30 kickoff. I mean, Stevie G, as you know, you beat him the other day. He's under pressure big time, but they've still backed him. They've still brought in Dendoncker yesterday from Wolves. They brought in Jan Bednarek as well from Southampton to cover for Diego Carlos.
Why
didn't sell him.
Why I don't know why they held on to him for when they probably end up losing him for free. But anyway, listen, I watched Aston Villa the other night, obviously the game against Arsenal. I thought 2-1 flattered them. I'll tell you. That game at the end of the first half could have been 4-5-0 to Arsenal. It's total domination. They were very poor. In the second half, they rallied. You obviously had words with them. They rallied in the second half, got a bit of a fortunate goal back, but didn't really threaten enough. They've got great players. When you look throughout that team, they've got some outstanding players, but they're not playing very well as a team at the moment. They're not confident in playing out from the back. They're not confident at all in any of their play, and they're coming up against a Man City team. Haaland, if he scores another hat-trick, it'll be the first time anyone's done that, 3 hat-tricks in a row. He's on fire.
Absolute joke.
He's on fire. I can't see anything based off of what I saw from Villa the other day, apart from a Man City win. And I think it could be a horrible one as well. I think I could see something like a 3-4-0, unless... I think if they could get off to a good start, get the crowd up, because at Villa Park, when that crowd's up with you, it's rocking. But also, in my years ago at Villa Park, when that crowd go against
Yeah,
you.
it's tough to get it
Yeah,
back.
so I can't see nothing apart from the Man City win. I see if they play like they did the other night, it could be 3, 4, 5, anything. Because we should have. We honestly in that first half against them, we should have been out of sight. 2-1 flattered them big time. So.
They'll be hoping that the likes of Coutinho, Buendia, Ings, Watkins, Leon Bailey
they all played the other night. They all played the other night. But you know what it is with them, right? They've got all these individuals, but I couldn't see a pattern of play. I didn't know what their style was. You know what I mean?
They're struggling to find an identity
for
at the minute.
The first half, it was lumping the ball up to Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, Aston Villa. A couple of stats for you, Rob. They're winless in their last 11 top-flight games with City, drawing 1, losing 10, losing each of the last 7 by an aggregate score of 22-5.
Well, there you go.
City have won the last 14 out of 16 games against Villa. The champions have won 28 Premier League games against Villa. No other side do they have a better record.
Second from bottom. If they're not careful, they could be bottom of the league.
And they're talking about El Sakiko next week. Villa versus Everton. Who's getting sacked first? Let us know in the comments. Right, that's all your Saturday games. Let's go to Sunday now. Brighton at home to Leicester. Do you know what? I'm actually looking forward to watch this game because we saw Leicester last night. They were poor. Didn't bring any players in. You saw Brendan Rodgers last night basically throw the white towel in and say along the lines of, this isn't the same club that it was 2 years ago. We wanted that help. We haven't got that help. So we're going to have to just crack on. If he gets sacked, we're hearing that he gets a £25 million payout. Brendan Rodgers at Leicester. I mean, do you agree with him? Do you think this isn't the same Leicester that he took over?
I think, Leicester have got problems with financial fair play and they've not been able to spend this summer. They only brought in one outfield player.
Yeah.
And that was a replacement, a very cheap replacement for Fofana,
who's
who's left. I watched that game against Manchester United. I didn't think United played that well. I just thought that Leicester was shocking. Absolutely shocking. Again, they can't string 2 passes together. It's disjointed. It's surprising because Leicester, again, despite the fact they haven't brought no one in, they've still got good players. They've still got Maddison, Vardy, Tielemans, Dewsbury Hall, all these very talented players throughout the team. But defensively, Brighton are a good team, by the way.
Yes,
Brighton are
excellent.
A well-organised team, well-structured, good pattern of play. Everyone knows what they're doing. I see a Brighton win. And Brendan Rodgers, his job, I mean, he needs a win here. He needs a win. He needs something. He needs a draw at least. Otherwise, his job is under threat. Serious threat, I feel, because you can argue and say no one's been bought in, but you still got good players there, and this is a shocking start in the bottom of the league. And, we've seen before the owners of the Leicester, they can be ruthless. Remember they sacked Ranieri, ruthless after winning the league, you know what I mean? So,
wow.
And remember even when they brought in Brendan Rodgers, how they moved for him, you know what I mean? Straight away, ruthless. Took him away from Celtic, you know what I mean? So I think he really needs a win. But what I saw last night, I can't see it. I'm going for a Brighton win in that game.
Do you know what? It's sad to see for Leicester. They've fallen so far down in that league. They are bottom of the table right now. I think I'm going to have to agree with you, Rob.
Yeah.
Brighton scoring goals.
Brighton
Trossard, Gross looking really good. Welbeck just signed a new deal.
Did lose during the week, of course, to Fulham.
Yeah, unlucky to lose that one, I think.
But going away to Fulham at the moment is not an easy place to go to, you know what I mean? And Brighton are a good side.
So will the Seagulls beat the Foxes? Let us know in the comments.
I think they will.
Right, Manchester United versus Arsenal, the 4:30 curtain drawer of the weekend on Sunday at Old Trafford. Arsenal notoriously don't have a great record when it comes to going up to Manchester.
We won there in 2020. I think that's about one.
Was that a Aubameyang penalty? 1-0?
Yeah. Got a horrible record there. Horrible.
Well, you have to change that, right? Because if we're going to see Arsenal take it up a level this year, this is the kind of game
I think this is a game which is one of those games where it's like them sort of turning point games where you look on it and you say, right, Arsenal, we've got off to a great start in the season, 5 wins out of 5, but this is a big test now. Can you go to one of those places where you traditionally lose and get a result? Can you go to one of the sort of big 6 and get a result? And it's a big test for Arsenal. And then, on top of that, there's a couple of injuries that sort of reared their ugly heads again at Arsenal. no Partey, El Nenny's out. We didn't manage to get Douglas Luiz over the line. You know what I mean? All of a
Who's
sudden...
going to play in midfield, Rob?
Well, it'd be Lokonga, I think, will play. Who, by the way, played
With
very...
Xhaka?
Yeah, with Xhaka. Who, both of those played very well the other night, but this is a different test against Manchester United. United now, all of a sudden, you know, if they win the game, they'll only be 3 points behind us, despite the terrible start they've got. Yeah. They beat you guys there. I thought they were they weren't that great against Leicester.
They weren't great against us.
They weren't that great against Southampton. They got the win. They're wins. They're grinding it out. They don't care how to get them. I'll tell you, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game because these Arsenal team has been playing very, very good football. So it's going to be a good game, a really, really good test for Arsenal. I think we can go there and win. We should have beaten them last year. Last year I was so disappointed, right? Because, yeah, you know what I mean, we played good stuff. They didn't play that great, but they still ended up beating us 3-2 Ronaldo penalty. So
5 wins out of 5 for Arsenal so far. Can they make it 6 out of 6? Big up to Paolo Reese with a super chat. He's a regular on the channel, big United fan. He says, "Hi guys, United will get it done against Arsenal. I can sense some nerves from the Don." Haha. It'll be a massive game nervy. And Ten Hag must change the lineup.
Always nervy. It's always a big game. You know, and all of a sudden they, you know, made a couple of signings, Casemiro and that. But I think, listen, I know one thing. What I've seen in Manchester United, they're still not playing great football. I think Arsenal are playing great football. And I think we can go there and beat them. I think if we go there, but it's just seemed to be one of those places where we've had that mental block and we haven't got over the line. So this is a big test for Arsenal. Big.
Amit says Robbie is worried. We had another chat earlier saying I'm going to be smoking on that Gunners pack by the time 6:30 comes on Sunday. We have done a little poll for you. Let us know who you think is going to win, United, draw, or Arsenal.
We always seem to beat United at our place. They always seem to beat us at their place. The same like Tottenham. We beat them at Emirates. Don't beat them at their place. We've got to change some of that this season. We've got to go to some of these places and start getting a result. And if we could get a result at United at the weekend, I think a lot of teams are going to turn around and say, hey. And I'm telling you, this Arsenal team, I know everyone's been saying, oh, yeah, but you're supposed to beat those teams. Well, you know what I mean? Chelsea's supposed to beat Leeds and Southampton. They lost, right? It's not a given. But it's the way in which Arsenal have been playing. They've been playing good football. The team's cohesive, good patterns of play.
Best team to watch in the country right now.
They're playing
Arsenal.
Good stuff, man. So, United fans, don't underestimate Arsenal. I think it's a different Arsenal that's going to come up to Old Trafford at the weekend. It's going to be a great game, going for a win.
PJ says, who will do the moonwalk this time? With a little super chat.
Backing my boys, man. Jesus.
The Don is quaking, says awesome
All
cookies.
right. Okay, let's see. Let's see, innit?
Ben White apparently not in first team training today, Rob.
Well, you see, those that's not great news. But Tomiyasu still is fit now.
I like Tomiyasu.
So we've got, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's a better squad, even though despite we didn't get Douglas Luiz in, it's a better squad than last year. So if Ben White is out, Tomiyasu comes in.
What do you make of United's new look defence? Dalot, Maguire. Sorry, definitely not Maguire. Dalot, Varane,
Lissandro Martinez. They've done very well.
Malacia at left back.
Yeah, I think. Listen,
Shaw and Maguire
they look
chucked to the bench.
They look a lot better with those guys. I think they'll be tested with our front three. Saka, Martinelli, Jesus have been sharp. You know what I mean? So that's going to be a big test for them. But I think Lissandro Martinez has done very well. He won't have so much the height issues with Arsenal, but he will at set pieces. We're good.
When the big lads
come
up.
They've got a good defence, but so have we. Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White. All right, if he's not in, you can, as I said, Tomiyasu, and Kieran Tierney. You know what I mean? Zinchenko could be back. I'm not sure. So our defence has been good as well. It's the only thing that slightly worries me is the midfield. We're missing Thomas Partey. That's a big miss. But listen, we're playing good stuff, man. It's going to be a great game.
It will be. Geek to Back says Martinez is still one tackle away from a red card. It's coming.
He's a very aggressive player, but I think it's a good signing for United. I'm still not sure, the height thing with certain teams is going to be an issue, but he's a good player. You could see he looks very... That pairing of Varane and Lissandro Martinez are better than Maguire.
Casemiro going to be playing, maybe Anthony there as well.
Yeah,
Mullabar Zuba says, I like Robbie's confidence.
Yeah,
Can't wait for United
Casemiro
to
be
smash
playing.
his beloved club.
Casemiro will be playing, so will Odegaard will be playing. And I'll tell you, this guy's been on fire. So all these men that are talking now, I know they're secretly worried. Right?
4,000 of them worried
keep
right
talking. I know. Secretly, they're talking that, but they know.
Fernandez Magnifico saying, we've won the midfield battle already.
Okay.
In caps. So he must be confident.
McTominay and Fred. McTominay and Casemiro.
Yeah. Robbie is trying to convince himself, says
I'm not
Amit.
trying to convince. Listen, I don't need to convince myself. I can look at what this team's been doing. They've won 5 out of their last 5. They've looked good in these games. It's not scraping games. Arsenal have been playing good football. The games that they've won should really have won by more. That's the only thing is we should have finished more chances. But I'm telling you, Martinelli on fire. Jesus on fire. Saka not on fire yet, but still, assist the other night, still contributing. Odegaard's been on fire. Xhaka has been playing excellently,
Yes.
right? Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White, or if he's not in, Tomiyasu, Kieran Tierney. I'm telling you, this is a team that is cohesive. They all know what they're doing. They're playing good football, good pattern of play.
I believe you.
It's going to be a big test for United.
K1.
And an intense team as well.
Robbie, I can see it in your face. You're getting rattled, says K1. Do you know what? It's nice to have this on the other shoe for once, man. Me rattling you and not the other way around.
Let's see all these men on come Monday morning.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Big up to Swag Team Empire. AGT, bro, no cap. You're proper English guy. Why you always talk like you're exotic, my guy? Lol, my guy ain't Spanish. What are you on about, you sausage? Right, listen, I can't wait for that game. I'm really looking forward to the 4:30 Sunday kickoff. It's going to be on real Old Trafford. Listen, hopefully you can go up there and come back with something this
please,
time.
Man, please. A long time. We just don't go there and get enough
It's a long
wins.
way to go.
It is a long way to go, but
It's a long old
sweet drive back.
Hopefully it's a sweet drive back.
Actually,
I'm going for an Arsenal win.
I'm going to stay up there because I'm doing an overlap the next day for them.
Oh, nice.
They're doing one Man United special one. So I thought,
Okay.
stick it on Gary Neville, man. You know what I mean? Come on, Arsenal, man. Do this. Because if we do, I'm going to stick it on Neville, man.
Make sure you do, though, properly.
I know, because if they do win, he'd be all smugged up.
Don't
man.
even turn up to that if you
Yeah,
don't
I know.
win.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's
You know
a good
what I
shout.
would love.
That's
Listen,
a good shout.
obviously I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I would love, and I'm sounding like Kevin Keegan here.
Love
I would
it.
love it to
Love
see
it.
Robbie stick it right on Gary Neville the day after
like
that
if
loss.
If we don't win,
please
man,
do it
it's
for
gonna-
us,
it's
man.
gonna be
Do
horrible.
it for Liverpool fans.
It's gonna be
as
horrible,
well.
and then you know what? It'll be all the normal stuff. Yeah, see, it's the same.
I told
old
you, Robbie.
Arsenal.
You're not ready. You're not ready, Robbie. All
Don't
that
worry
rubbish.
about us, man. We're gonna be all right this season.
Mark T, a couple super chats before we go. Mark T says, United think they've won already. We shall see come Monday. Let continue
true.
to win quietly and keep doing our own thing. Forget about
Exactly.
what others say. 6
Move
out of
in
6.
silence.
Kelechi Asika says, Robbie getting gassed over beating up scrubs. Lol.
Why haven't all the other teams beaten up Scrubs?
It's a good point.
Why didn't Chelsea beat up Scrubs?
good
why
point.
have you've had Scrubs you've played.
Yeah,
why
we've
you
not
beat
beaten
them?
some Scrubs.
You played Fulham, you didn't beat them.
Yeah.
Right? Why is it that Tottenham have not beaten up certain Scrubs?
Scrubs. That's a harsh word.
No, but it's the word
It's
he's
his
using,
word.
isn't it?
I agree. It's his
Yeah?
word. It's his word.
Yeah, why is everybody else not beating the same Scrubs? Right? I mean, we played the teams that are in front of us and we've beaten them, and we've beaten them well. We've been
Convincingly.
playing well from pre-season. This is a team that is playing good football. Yeah? Right? So,
Can I just say, I've just seen the title of this video. Will Manchester United stop Arsenal's invincible run? It's a bit of a strong use of the word
do
invincible.
not use that word invincible.
All right?
Because
Let's not.
This team is nowhere near the Invincibles, right? But
Come on,
listen,
man.
we're moving in silence, man. You know what I mean? This team
Silent killers.
Silent killers, man.
Yes.
Just move in silence,
Like
doing our
Corona.
thing. But I'm saying that this is an Arsenal team that is very cohesive. You'll see the way they play in football at the moment is great.
Rob, I'm going for an Arsenal win.
So am I.
I am going to go with a 2-1 Arsenal win.
Exactly what I was going to go with.
I think Jesus scores. I'm pretty sure he scores. And I'm going to go for a Martinelli goal as well.
Martinelli's been on fire.
I'm actually buzzing for this.
So I'll
one as
tell
a
you what,
neutral.
right? You know what I mean? It's going to pose some problems to their defence. Guys like Dalot and that, you know what I mean? It's a different proposition to what they had up against Leicester. And I saw, even in that game, Harvey Barnes giving them trouble. It's just his end product weren't good. I think it'll be different with Martinelli.
There we go.
Yeah.
Big prediction there from the big man.
2-1.
2-1 to Arsenal at Old Trafford. Just before we go, do not forget, there is over 4,000 of you watching the comments right now. Don't forget to vote for DR Sports at the Football Content Awards 2022. We're going up for Best New Content Creator and Best in Social. We've pinned the comment for you in the chat. Really looking forward to seeing if we can win that.
Yeah.
Or at least get in amongst the top 4. Hopefully we don't miss out. Casemiro will have your midfield in a headlock all game, Robbie says. Right. We're calling it off. There's no more trying to rattle Don Robbie chats anymore.
Not rattled, man.
Right, don't forget, tomorrow we'll be back with the Liverpool-Everton watch-along before the Saturday football show. Can't wait for that. It's going to be a great weekend of football here on DR Sports. Rob, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, guys.